All right, aloha, beautiful beings of light. Rick Ely, thanks for tuning in. Take a deep breath. That's what I always got to do, just breathe and remember what it was I wanted to talk about. And today, this afternoon, I'm reading Dynamic Focus by one of my mentors, Dusty Staub. It's this book, Dynamic Focus. It's on my story if you want to look at it. Huge impact from the perspective of transactional versus transformational. And when I say transactional, I'm referring to transactions, right? We do transact to do business. And transformational is that thing that leads to a transformation in your mind, in your heart, in your whole being, in your whole way of life. It's transformed into something new, into something different, into something expanded, an expanded reality beyond transactions. And what I'm learning in this book is that there's a huge need for transaction, right? We're living in a transactional world. And yet there is a huge need for this transformation. And there's this way of being that is somewhere in the middle. We call it Pono, just being Pono, being right with oneself, right with another, and right with the environment. That has nothing to do with transaction or transformation, and yet has everything to do with that third column, which is integrating, or third perspective rather, which is what Dusty refers to and Wayne referred to in the book. That's where you integrate both transformation and transaction in a whole way of being. And we call that Pono. Just being Pono, being right, doing the right thing at the right time. That doing that right thing doesn't make anybody else wrong. Okay, what's that got to do with anything and what I really wanted to talk about today? Because I had this epiphany. I'm working on a transaction. I'm working on perfecting a transaction, a real estate transaction specifically. And I realized that all of the pieces are there. There's multiple pieces, multiple players, multiple opportunities. And yet to perfect a transaction, there's multiple transactions that lead to a transformation. My aim in transacting is to create transformation, is to actually build something, to create something of value, of greater value than when I started. And there's all of these players along the way, everything from builders, developers, brokers, and the finished product, whether they're a renter or a homeowner. Why am I saying this? Because if I'm focused just on the transaction, I'm going to miss the transformational opportunity, the opportunity to perfect the art of the deal, the art of the transaction, which will ultimately lead to transformation, to actually creating something of value that I can be, and something of significance that I can be proud of, something that I can really be honored to be a part of. Not just a transaction, here's your money, go. That's so surface level. But if I'm embedded in relationships, if I have a vested interest in others' success, in others' I have to have that vested interest in another's success. That's the truth. Everything that we've been teaching in our Pono Business Academy and our group coaching comes down to this one thing, that market dominating position. What is it that you do that nobody else does, that you can stand behind, that you can get behind and claim the most audacious claims, make the most audacious claims. That's the reality. I can do this different, better than anybody else, than my competition. What's that one thing? And I keep coming back to this place of being Pono. You know, it really is the area of melding transformation and transaction. Whew. Okay. Well, that was a mouthful for today. You're welcome to join us in our Pono Business Academy group coaching. There is a 5-day jumpstart free. You can get all the information. I'll put a link in the bottom in the chat, and love to see you in there. Love to participate, create some value. That's what we do. It's not about us in the group coaching session. It is about you specifically. This is where we get to dial in on what you do best and help you perfect the messaging that goes out. Now, it's paramount that I do this work myself, and I'm learning. We're all just walking each other home. That's the reality. We're all just, there's nothing new under the sun, except the way that you perceive it. Now, it may be new for you in the form of perception and feeling. It might actually feel a hell of a lot better than just doing transactional life. You know, it's got to feel much better than just being motivated out of creating transaction. Life has to have significance. Your life is meant to have meaning and significance. And if you're stuck up in your head or in just trying to do transactional business and there's no relationship, you might be missing something. So just food for thought. All right. Whew, gosh, I'm going to say it. I love you. You're wonderful. You're beautiful, and you're kind. How do I know that? Well, I know my purpose, right? My purpose, to be the highest ideal of me, an observation of the highest ideal of humanity. Yeah, that means I'm going to be aware that that is you. That doesn't mean that all of the other stuff doesn't exist, but that's what I'm going to be paying attention to. So come join us in our group coaching, our Pono Business Group Coaching Mastermind, and interact with us. Develop a relationship. Take your business to the next level from just transactions to transformational. All right. Aloha.